Hi, it's Karen Dubs with Flexible Warrior, and tonight we're going to do a little bit of a posture opener, otherwise known in yoga as a heart opener. It's Valentine's Day. In the winter time, it's always a little bit, easier to find the time to do a little extra stretching. So I would encourage you, if you have a foam roller, to grab it. If you don't, you could take a blanket and roll it up into a bolster. Just a little prop to help you open up your posture. Also, if you have a block, a yoga block, grab that. If you don't, again, you can find another prop that's maybe similar. Phone books aren't really easy to find these days, but a yoga block is inexpensive but a wonderful tool to help you with some of this. So what we're going to do to begin with is just take your foam roller, or again, you can take a blanket and roll it up into a bolster. You can also take a yoga mat and roll that up. It's not as elevated as a foam roller, but it's a great prop. So to start with, we are going to come up on top of the foam roller and just lie down and make sure that your head is on the end of the roller. So you don't want to be off the end of the roller and having your head jut back. You want to keep your neck in line with your spine so everything's neutral, okay? And so these heart openers are just posture openers to open and relax the chest. And I love working on the foam roller for this because there's no effort. You just get to lie here and let gravity do the work for you. Have your feet about hip bone distance apart or wider, and you can let your knees knock together if that's comfortable. Relax your eyes closed and take 5 deep breaths in and out through your nose. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you get started with this easy restorative stretch. Hi, Nina. And I'll talk you through it as we go. And if you have animals that have joined you, they will love this. They'll think it, of course, is always about them. But really, this whole practice is about you and your self-care. All right, so just taking a time out to recharge and do a few restorative poses. We're also going to be doing a little bit of a flow as well. So a little Valentine heart opener flow. Take one more deep breath in and out through your nose. And exhale completely. Now the way I like to get off with the roller is to just roll to one side. And then you can go ahead and roll down onto your back. Get your bone, Luna. Get your bone. Get your bone. Here you go. And pull your knees into your chest. And just give your knees a hug to your rib cage. She's usually really good about doing her own thing. I think she's a little confused when I'm talking to a camera. But anyway, it's important that you just try to block out the distractions that are going on around you, your phone, your animals, your kids, whatever, the TV, computer. Try to block all that out for now and just take an opportunity to breathe and do a few stretches. So just rocking from side to side, and then take your hands onto your knees and just do a knee stir. So circle it around in one direction. And just release the back. And then same thing, other direction. And then from there, you can go ahead and flip over and come into child's pose. Looks like I'm going to be sharing my mat tonight. So child's pose, you're going to sit your hips back onto your heels and let your forehead rest to the mat. And then take a deep breath in, shift forward, curl your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Scoot your animals out of your way with your feet. Do a few heel raises. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, drop your heels down, because you really want to get a good calf stretch. Okay, so lift and lower. And if your hamstrings are tight, you guys know at this point, you can bend your knees a little bit in order to get your spine a little bit more straight and extended. And then from here, go ahead and release your knees down and step your right foot up and through your hands. We're going to come into a low lunge. So you want to sink your hips low. And then to get a little bit of a chest opener with this, you're going to take your hands and interlace them behind the base of your skull. I just want you to press your hands together, and then press your skull back into your hands so that you're opening up the front of the chest. Now you never want to jam into this. You don't want to force it. You just want to let the front of the body open. You should feel a stretch through the front of the chest and the shoulders here as well. Take one more nice deep breath in. And then go ahead and release out of that and bring your hands on either side of your front foot. You're going to curl your back toes under and step into plank pose. And even in your plank pose, I want you to feel a little bit more open in your chest. Your chest is pulling forward, your shoulders are pulling back, your belly's pulling in and up, and your thighs are squeezing. You're going to bend your elbows by your rib cage and lower down. Inhale, point your toes, come up to cobra, and hold for 3 breaths. So if your back is not feeling as flexible, you can certainly stay a little bit lower in your cobra. But if your back has a little bit more range, feel free to press up. Take one more breath, really press through your fingertips and your palms, and then releasing out of it, push back to child's pose. And we will switch sides. So step your left foot through your hands. Inhale, reach up, interlace your fingers behind the base of your skull. Push your head back into your hands, open up your posture. It should feel like a nice stretch through the front of the chest and shoulders, maybe into the abdominal wall, stretching the whole front line of the body. Take one more breath. And then release your hands down on either side of your front foot. Curl your back toes under, squeeze your back knee straight, step through to plank. And again, feel your chest open here. So you don't want to be slumping down into this. You don't want to shrug into your shoulders. You want to push through your hands, pull your shoulders back, and open your chest forward. Shift slightly into your toes, bend your elbows lower down. And then open up into your cobra again, 3 breaths. Point your toes, slide your shoulder blades away from your ears. Feel your heart opening. And then releasing out of that, push back to child's pose. Inhale, shift forward, curl your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Now we're going to add a leg lift to this and a hip opener. So I want you to go ahead and lift your right leg straight up. And don't worry if it doesn't get too high, it doesn't matter. You can keep it lower, it's fine. You're going to bend that knee and kick open with your hip. So you're reaching your right knee as high as you can, but reaching your right foot up and over to your left shoulder blade. Now step your right foot up and through your hands. And this time come up for a high lunge. So lifting all the way up for a high lunge. Same thing as before, you're going to interlace your fingers behind the base of your skull. Press your head back into your hands and open up the front of the chest and shoulders. You should feel that nice stretch through your left hip flexor, all the way through your abs and through your chest and shoulders. Take one more breath. And then reach your hands back up and on either side of your right foot. We're going to add a little twist to this. So you're going to reach your right hand behind you and around in a big circle, opening your chest up to the sky. Take a deep breath. And then bring your right hand down on the outside of your right foot. Bring your right leg back up to the sky. So pick it up and stretch your toes up. You're going to bend your knee and kick open with your hip. Hi, Luna. And then for pigeon pose or half pigeon, you're going to bring your right knee to your right wrist, point your left toes, and slide your left toes back. So this is a nice stretch for your right hip. I want you to feel that back bend and heart opener here. So strong fingertips, plug your fingertips into the mat, open your chest up to the sky, and get that nice stretch to the front of the chest. So if you're feeling enough of a stretch here, you go ahead and stay here. All right, there's no competition, no need to go further. But if you feel a little bit more range and a little bit more flexible, you can pick your left foot up and bring your left hand around and grab the instep of your left foot with your left hand. Lift your chest, bring the focus of your eyes slightly up. Take 2 more breaths. So you're getting a chest opener, a quad stretch, hip stretch here too. Good. And then slowly release out of that. Make sure your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Curl your left toes under, step through to plank. Chest is open, belly's pulled in and up. Shift to your toes. And then this time if you want to come into upward facing dog, that's just to the tops of your feet. Take 3 breaths in upward dog, so you're really focusing on opening up the posture, opening up the chest. 1 more deep breath in, energy out through the toes as well. And then use your core to lift you back up to downward facing dog. So same thing on the left side. The left leg's going to lift up. You're going to bend that knee and kick open with your hip. Try to square your shoulders as level as possible to the floor. Lift your left kneecap up a little higher if you can, and then use your core to gently, softly land that left foot between your hands. You're going to squeeze your right knee as straight as you can, but keep your hips sinking low. And then on an inhale, rise up. Interlace your fingers behind the base of your skull. Press the back of your head into your hands and open up the whole front of the body. Keep the belly pulling in and the tailbone slightly tucked. Take one more breath. And then hands down on either side of your left foot. You're going to sweep your left hand around and up to the sky. And bring the focus of your eyes upward towards your left hand. If that's not comfortable in your neck, you can just look straight forward. Keep your back nice and neutral. Take one more breath. And then bring the left hand down on the outside of the left foot. Take your left foot back up to the sky. Take a nice deep breath. Have a total fire dog here. Bend that knee, kick open with your hip. And then half pigeon. So that left knee is going to come towards your left wrist. You're going to point your right toes and slide your right toes back. And then from there, we're going to open up the chest. Right, so you feel that back bend. You feel the whole front of the body opening up. Now remember, you can stay right here, or you can add on by bending up the right knee, only if it's comfortable, no pressure on the knee. And the right hand will sweep around. You'll grab the inside of your right foot with your right hand. Lift and open the chest. Let's take 2 more breaths here. If you feel like you're struggling a lot, or your breath has gotten shallow and choppy, and you're shaking, then you know you need to back out of it, okay? Take 1 more breath, and then go ahead and release out of that. Make sure you take the time to separate your hands shoulder width distance apart, curl your right toes under, step through to plank. Shift to your toes, half push-up, so elbows are in line with your rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. So you're on the tops of your feet, you're really pushing through your hands, so you're lifting your chest and your sternum. And then use your core. Well, there's your sister. And push into downward facing dog. So let's take 3 breaths in downward dog and really melt the chest. Sink the heels and press to the palms. Take the biggest breath you can in through your nose. And then exhale and release your knees to the mat. Good. We're going to come all the way up into a kneeling position. I want you to go ahead and reach your hands up over your head and come into upward facing camel. So I need for you to pull the belly in and drop the tailbone a little bit. So as you pull the belly in and tuck the tailbone gently under, you'll stabilize through your core and protect your back. As you reach up over your head, I want you to reach your fingertips as far away from your hips as you can so you feel space between your ribs. Take a deep breath, upward facing camel, and then fold into child's pose. So this is restorative child's pose. The hands are going to come back by the feet with the palms facing up, and your forehead will rest down onto the mat. Relax your shoulders completely, and rock a little bit from right to left. Good. Use the strength of your glutes to lift you back up into kneeling. And this time you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them right on your sacrum, right at the base of your low back. So it doesn't need to be huge and dramatic. In fact, sometimes less is more. So I want you to just gently lift your chest up, pull the belly in, press the hips gently forward, and lean slightly back to open up the front of the chest and shoulders. So your fingertips are down near your glutes, and the palms of your hands are near your sacrum. Take a deep breath in and just let the posture open, and then use the strength of your quads to lift you back up. Place your hands underneath your shoulders in a kneeling quadruped position, and then tuck the tailbone under, round the spine into cat. Come into neutral spine. We're going to do spinal balance next, so go ahead and take the right leg straight back. Kick through that heel, keep the belly pulled in and up, and then take the left arm and reach it straight forward. From here, half balanced quad stretch. So you're going to bend your right knee and reach back and grab the top of your right foot with your left hand, if you can find it. Go ahead and find your foot with your hand, opposite hand to foot. So if your right foot is back, you're going to grab onto it with your left hand. So you're going to kick the foot into your hand and open up. So you're feeling a nice chest opener on that left side and a quad stretch on your right side. Take one more breath. And then reach forward with your left hand and back with your right foot again. And then hand and knee down. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So left foot straight back, belly pulled in and up to stabilize your core. Focus your eyes on a spot that's right underneath your nose. So neutral neck. Right arm reaches straight forward. Bend your left knee. Reach back and grab the top of your left foot with your right hand. Once you find your foot with your hand, you're going to kick your foot into your hand and send your toes up to the ceiling. You should feel a nice stretch from the left quad and hip flexor into your right chest and shoulder. Take one more breath. And then reach forward and back, stabilizing from your core, spinal balance. And then hand and knee down. Good. Tuck your tailbone, round up into cat. And then neutral spine. You can cross your ankles, have a seat, bring your feet out in front of you. So, good. That's just a short posture opening technique. You know, it doesn't take more than 10 minutes to feel more energy flowing in the body, posture more lifted. Now, I want you to just check in with your posture. Okay? And ideally, you're here, ears, shoulders, hips. If throughout the day you notice that you're going here, you might want to do a few minutes of stretching, you know, posture opening. Take your hands behind you, you know, open up your chest, bring your posture into more balanced alignment. Okay, just to finish off, again, grab either your foam roller or if you have a block, I'm going to show you both ways to do this. You're going to take a few minutes just to reestablish the posture and come back to the breath. So if you're sitting on the foam roller, it's just as we started. Two different ways that you can use it actually. Tailbone underneath, and then you lie straight back, just like we did in the beginning. Remember, the wider that your feet are apart and knees knocked together gives you a little bit more stability. You can also go here. So the foam roller would go underneath, kind of like where the bra strap line is, and then your hands behind your head, and you just back bend over the roller. And I love to do bound angle here too. So the bottoms of the feet together to touch. So you're opening up the groin, inner thigh, as well as the chest and shoulders. It feels fantastic. I could stay here for quite a while. So feel free to try that one. Again, a foam roller, like $15 investment, really good thing to buy. Of course, foam rolling too, so rolling out your muscles. Just know that the foam roller is sort of like a magnet for dog hair. I've got dog hair all over it. Great. Okay, and then the last thing, if you have a block, you can just place it underneath the lowest part of your rib cage, and then just allow the head to drop back. And same thing, it's like the dogs are props for my knees here, which is actually sort of nice because it allows the inner thigh and groin to relax and stretch a little bit more. But wherever you are, just find a comfortable position that allows the posture to open without you having to struggle and fight. Put a few props underneath your back, and then just relax the front of the shoulders and the chest, and close your eyes and breathe. So let's just take 3 deep breaths here. And as you breathe in, I want you to try to fill your belly and your lungs as completely as possible. And as you breathe out, try to empty your lungs completely. So every drop of air comes all the way out. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. And exhale completely. Soften your shoulders with the exhale. And one more time, deep breath in. And exhale completely. Take your time to come off of your prop and just hug your knees into your rib cage. Rock a little bit from side to side like we did earlier. Grateful for the time that you carved out for self-care. Because as the saying goes, you cannot give from an empty cup. So it's just critical, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, to do something that's really good for your posture, your body, your mind, and your spirit. Go ahead and roll into one side, and then push yourself all the way up into sitting. So if you have animals, they might be all over you in the beginning when you first practice your yoga. But little by little, they just sort of get used to it like anything else. So I would encourage you